The New York Yankees, one of the most storied franchises in the history of sports. From their 27 rings to their cavalcade landslide of Hall of Fame players, the Bronx has had it all. Everything, that is, except for a World Series win or championship appearance in the last 15 years. For a team that could not help but win at multiple points in history, the last decade and a half has been riddled with frustration. 9 90-plus win seasons and 10 playoff appearances and nothing to show for it. But in 2024, something about the Yankees feels different. Their wins are dominant, their losses are close as they are rare, they're already heavily favored to win their division, and they may have a case for all 3 major individual awards this season. Some may limit this jump in quality to one move that we will certainly touch on, but it looks like the stars are aligning for the Pinstripes. So let's take a look at the Yankee Renaissance and why it might not be a bad choice to bet their futures while the odds are still somewhat long. Pre-All-Star break, most books agree that there are only 5 teams with a realistic chance to win the 2024 World Series. The Dodgers, Phillies, Orioles, Braves, and, of course, the Yankees. The fact that the third American League team in the World Series odds is the Mariners at plus 1600 versus the Orioles at plus 900 says a lot about the faith the bookmakers have in the rest of the American League contenders. In contrast, the Yankees are right up there with the Dodgers at plus 450 versus those favorites in LA who are at plus 300. As of the making of this video, the Yankees have the best record in Major League Baseball by a solid 5 wins, and they've performed at least well in every series they've played in. They're also one of the only teams that haven't been swept yet this season. So how did New York get from missing the playoffs to the scariest team in baseball? To answer that, let's first look at what went wrong last season. To start, their division got a lot better. From a Rays team that may have been fraudulent but certainly scored a lot of runs and won a lot of games to an Orioles team that took Major League Baseball by storm. Even the Red Sox were frisky. All of these teams stepped up, as did the Texas Rangers and a few other American League contenders. So even though the Yankees had about the same preseason strength of schedule that had yielded nearly 100 wins in 2022, the number of opponents that either went all in or leveled up their play gave them one of the tougher paths through the regular season. And it wasn't even immediately apparent. Right before the All-Star break, the Yanks won 2 in a row against the Orioles and were 10 games above 500. Right around the break, the wheels started to come off. After entering the All-Star break at 49-42, New York went 33-38, barely finishing with an above 500 record. As to why things went so wrong, there were 2 main culprits. First, and most obviously, batting went down the drain. In the final 71 games of the season post-All-Star break, New York hit just .221 with an OPS of .688, both of which would have been good for worst in MLB history, even behind the historically bad Oakland A's. The Stars still did their jobs with Gleyber Torres and DJ LeMahieu slashing around 300 and Aaron Judge sludging in spite of lingering hip problems. But Anthony Volpe had trouble getting up to Major League speed, and veterans like Anthony Rizzo and Giancarlo Stanton had horrible back ends of the year, both batting below 200. And on the other side of the ball, pitching wasn't good enough to overcome weak batting days. Obviously, I'm not slandering Garrett Cole, the reigning American League Cy Young winner. He played great all year to the point where him pitching was nearly an automatic win for New York, but everyone around him struggled. Clark Schmidt posted a 5-3 record post-All-Star game, but his earned run average went up by half a run and his strikeouts dropped by 1.5 per 9 innings. Carlos Rodon, fresh off injury around the midseason mark, couldn't regain his footing in the majors, going 3-7 in 13 starts with an ERA over 7. In fact, if you take Garrett Cole's stats out of the picture, the Yankees starters and bullpen posted a team ERA well over 4 on the season, with the numbers only getting less flattering later in the year. I wish I could blame injury, but most Yankees players on either side of the ball were available when called to play for most of the season. I don't know if it was truly the Yankee overconfidence or a massive glitch among the talent, but they just couldn't get it together. Calls for the head of manager Aaron Boone rang out as expected, but the team backed him. There were also calls for the Yankees to do whatever it took to acquire more high-quality bats and arms to support the handful of superstars that were wasted in 2023. And whether Brian Cashman heard the outcry or not, that's exactly what he did. In the 2023 offseason, the Yankees started taking big swings. Pun entirely intended. They sent bullpen pieces to the Red Sox for Alex Verdugo and opened the bank for starting pitcher Marcus Stroman, formerly of the Cubs, while also getting fringe starter and quality bullpen piece Luke Weaver for just $2 million. But the move that defined the Yankees' attitude coming into 2024 was a trade. A massive trade that made haters across the country roll their eyes in unison. For the low price of 3 pitchers, all of whom made starts for the Pinstripes in 2023, plus some prospects, the Yankees acquired outfielder Juan Soto from the San Diego Padres and quickly locked up the remaining year of control in his contract. And with this, the Yankees were all in. Truly all in, to the point that fans knew that their window was set. The Yankees didn't immediately re-sign Soto to a long-term deal. Garrett Cole was the only starter locked up for more than 2 seasons, and Aaron Judge's longevity was always a point of concern as such a historically injury-prone player. The table was set. and with the easiest strength of schedule in the AL East, the Yankees were either going to bounce back from 2023 stronger than ever, or a rebuild was coming. Luckily, almost everything has gone in New York's favor so far, and even their setbacks seem to have made them stronger. For example, look at the Atlanta Braves after losing Spencer Strider. Without the ace pitcher, a team can crumble. But even when Garrett Cole was shut down for a few months starting during spring training, the new Yankees rotation rose to the challenge. Veterans Nestor Cortes and Carlos Rodon have both been solid, with Cortes dropping his ERA by 1.5 points from last season and Rodon fully returning to form with a 9-3 record as of the making of this video. The newcomer Stroman has also had a solid winning record with an ERA tickling 3. But the breakout star that no one saw coming, maybe not even the Yankees themselves, was Luis Gil. Gil had sniffed the majors in 2021 and 2022, starting 7 games and posting good numbers, but the expectation was that he would return to the minor leagues once Cole returned to playing shape. Instead, with a full-time starting job, the Gila monster has blown the league away. Through 14 starts so far, Gil has a 9-1 record and an ERA of 2.03, which is only second among rookie pitchers because Shota Imanaga has a decade of experience in the Japanese pro circuit. He also throws around 7 strikeouts per start and has only given up 5 home runs from his 39 hits. Gil has presented himself as an additional ace, and since he averages around 6 innings per start, he keeps the pressure off his bullpen whenever he starts. And thanks to the support of Gil and the rest of the New York rotation, this bullpen has looked special. Closer Clay Holmes already has 19 saves on the year, good for top 5 in the league, while that bargain I mentioned earlier for Luke Weaver has turned into 4 wins and 9 holds from the inning-eating reliever. 2 other Yankee relievers also have 9+ holds. With Cole's return imminent in a series against Baltimore, this pitching staff might be the best in the league despite the ridiculous spending in Los Angeles. Despite this, the element that has really unleashed the Yankees this season is the offense. Yes, their infield has been solid with the defense of Rizzo and Volpe, and the outfield is tough to hit on between Judge and Soto, but the defense is just the icing on the cake when a team hits like these Yankees do. Through 73 injury-free games, Aaron Judge is hitting .299 with an OPS of 1.110 as a complement to his league-leading 26 dingers. Judge has returned to MVP form, and he isn't the only one. 4-time Silver Slugger Juan Soto has made an immediate impact with his pure Moneyball effect of getting on base no matter what. As one of the top of order bats for the Yankees, Soto is slashing .315 with an OPS of 1.025. His 18 homers are nice, but his real value has been working pitch counts like a pro and getting on base for his teammates to drive home. 55 walks to 51 strikeouts. Largely because of Soto, Judge has a league-leading 64 RBIs. The rest of the team hasn't been slacking either. Anthony Volpe has arrived in a big way with more plate appearances than any of his teammates, and although he's batting just .266, he is still neck and neck with Soto for the team lead in total hits, already in the 80s in mid-June. His speed certainly doesn't hurt either, with a team-leading 15 stolen bases, which is great for a team that doesn't feature a lot of base-running chops. Some other highlights from the stacked batting order include Giancarlo Stanton's 17 home runs and Alex Verdugo's 70 hits. On a team so deep, there aren't numbers from Gleyber Torres or Anthony Rizzo that stand out, but on most other teams in Major League Baseball, they'd be MVP candidates. To take a step back before I wrap this up, let's look at this New York team with all the pieces assembled. Like a blue and white pinstriped Voltron. The Yankees own the 5th best team batting average in baseball with a .253, second in the American League, as well as the 2nd most home runs with 110, the best team ERA with 3.02, and the best run differential in the sport with +124. Thanks to a 2-to-1 ratio of wins to losses, the Yankees are on pace for 110 wins, even though they are in the toughest division in baseball, bar none. They're in a position to potentially sweep the regular season awards, as Judge and Soto are the favorite and 3rd favorite, respectively, to win American League MVP, while Luis Gil is the favorite to win the AL Rookie of the Year, while also making his case with the 4th best odds to win a Cy Young in his rookie year. Volpe will be in contention for another Gold Glove, and nearly every starting Yankee is fair game for a Silver Slugger nomination. The team isn't perfect by any means, and there's still a lot of baseball left to play, but on paper, the New York Yankees have patched every hole that they showed during their 2023 disaster. To me, there's no denying that the Yankees are the deserving favorites to win the American League, and if I had to pick a team to win it all, I'd probably lock in with Luis Gil, Aaron Judge, and Juan Soto. But let me know what you think. Are the Yankees for real this year, or will their fans be made to suffer another humiliating playoff exit? Which team do you think will win the World Series? Let me know in the comments.